Hi everybody, here is another sassy surrogate video. So in this video I'm going to go over information on what to expect at the delivery when a surrogate's having the baby and it's a surrogacy situation. So one of the first things about delivery is when you are officially declared in labor, that's when you notify your intended parents. And the contract will often state how to notify them and the different options that are available just to make sure that you're in compliance with your contract. So if your contracts say that email is an option, you only have to email them to let them know you're in labor. And I only say only email because if you're running to the hospital because you're totally in labor and that baby's halfway out and you can barely keep your wits about you, the last thing you're going to want to have to worry about is making 5 different contacts to try to find the parents. Where are they? Let them know that you're in labor, especially if you're going to labor a little bit early. So full term is delivering at 36 weeks. So babies can come anywhere between 36 and 40 weeks. And so sometimes you'll go 40 weeks, sometimes you'll go 39, 38. You get the drift. And so when you're hurting and you're in pain and all you're trying to do is get to the hospital to make sure the baby comes out healthy, then it's okay to do what the contract says in the forms of notifying the intended parent. Especially if you have an international intended parent, it's going to take a lot longer to try to find different phone numbers to call them than to just notify them. Also, too, what your contracts might say is you can also notify the agency, and your agency can notify them. So what I'll do often, or what I've done before, is when I went into labor, I sent an email to the parent and to the agency. So my obligations, my responsibilities were covered. I made sure I was in compliance, and then I can concentrate, on the health of the delivery. So when it comes to if you are going, say you're one of those people, every time you have a little cramp, you're going to the hospital. Am I in labor? Am I in labor? No. So you don't have to tell the intended parents every single time you're going to the hospital with false labor. When you should notify the intended parents is when you go to the hospital and they're like, yes, you're in labor, let's admit you. So you're officially in labor, and that's when you're entitled to tell the intended parents. Of course, if you end up going for those little complications, clear communication after is great. You can let them know if you want, hey, I just want to let you know I was having a few pains and I went to the hospital, but they said that nothing is happening and everything's okay. So clear communication is really, really great. But you don't have to stress out your intended parent by telling them every single time you go to the hospital if there's no action, if there's nothing going on. Especially, like I said, if they're international, if you message them saying, I'm on my way to the hospital, they're hopping on a flight, they're coming here, spending a lot of money to get a last-minute plane ticket, and then 10 minutes later, when they're 10 minutes after they've boarded the plane, you're like, oh, just kidding, doctor said it was just gas, something like that. So notify them when it's really going on. That way it's less stress on you, less stress on them, all of that. So when it comes to the birth plan, I've had people ask me before, and this is in another video also, if the intended parent can control the surrogate's birth plan. Pretty much no. My body is my body until I push the baby out, and then the baby, of course, is theirs. What they can say is that and this is totally makes sense to me, you do have to have their baby in a hospital. You cannot have a beautiful little hippie home birth with a midwife and a blow-up pool. You can do that for your own babies, but for a surrogate baby, as in these intended parents that are paying a lot of money and could possibly have had a lot of heartache before, they want to make sure their baby is born in the healthiest environment possible, where if something is wrong with the baby when it comes out, heaven forbid, they can rush it right away to the NICU. All these doctors will be right there. Everything will be at their fingertips. So it has said in every single contract that I've had, all 5 of them, you have to deliver at an actual hospital. Parents cannot control what pain medication a surrogate has. I have never seen a contract ever try to say that, and I would not allow it in my contracts, because if I want to have pain medication, I'm going to have it. A lot of pain medication actually doesn't work on me, so I kind of end up having natural births anyway. I feel the whole pain the whole time. So if you guys want to have that discussion together, of course, that's open. I'm just trying to look out for the surrogates to, let you guys know if you haven't done this before. It is your body until the baby comes out. You're entitled to whatever pain medication the hospital offers you because the doctor wouldn't offer it to you if it wasn't healthy and baby safe. If you want to go natural, that's your choice too. My friend Liz has done surrogacy a few times too, and she goes natural and she's totally fine with it. Then that's just a discussion that you guys need to have together. If an intended parent really wants the surrogate to go natural and she's willing to try, then that is your deal. But intended parents, please don't think that you are allowed to tell a surrogate she's not allowed to have pain medication while pushing your baby out. Okay, so that's my sassy surrogate real talk right there. All right, next. So more real talk is the privacy factor. So just because a surrogate is pushing a baby out for an intended parent doesn't mean that her vagina is for everybody to view. The surrogate's vagina is still the surrogate's vagina. It is not yours. It is hers. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I have had a contract before try to say that the intended parent is allowed to take videos and photos of the delivery. So what I did in that situation is no, you're not getting videos of my vagina. If your surrogate is okay with that, that's totally okay. But I have never done anything like that in my personal life, and I am not going to do anything like that in my surrogate life. Who knows where those videos will end up. So what I did in that situation is I nixed that in the contract process. Once again, surrogates, know your contract. Read every single line. Don't just say, I trust you, sign it, and be done with it. Don't do it. Watch my contract video. So what I did in this situation is I nipped that in the butt, and I said, there will not be videos taken of me. And for photos, you can take photos once the baby's out. So there will be no photos of my private areas and no videos of my private areas. So that is your choice. Just because you're a surrogate does not mean that they have all access to your lady parts. Please know this. The other part of privacy that I really want intended parents to respect is the actual birth part as well. So every contract that I have has said that the intended parent is allowed to be present at delivery. So that is what it says verbatim. So it says present at the hospital for delivery. It actually doesn't even say that the parent has to be in the room. It just says present at delivery. So present at the delivery at the hospital, in the waiting room, So the way that I word this, or way I think about it, and I actually had this put in my last contract, is sometimes, especially some surrogate journeys, you're super, super close with your intended parent. They come to all your appointments. You know them. They're your new best friend. That is amazing. Do whatever you want privacy-wise for that. Let them see everything. Let them record everything, photo everything. That's up to you guys. But for a little bit more trickier situations, like if you have an international intended parent, a lot of the times you might not even meet them until you're popping out their baby, because they don't come to the States all the time because those tickets are really expensive. So you stay in communication with them through email, Skype if you want, staying in compliance with your contract by giving them updates after every appointment, every week or so, to let them know, hey, everything's okay. We're both still alive over here. Everything's going good. But you might not meet them. So they're literally almost still in person. They're a stranger. So it did get kind of nerve-wracking at the end of one of mine to be like, okay, well, I just realized this person is a stranger who's supposed to be allowed in my delivery room when I'm naked, from the waist down, pushing out a baby, being, stressed out at the pregnancy. And one of the things that you can do if you're not super, super close, and the international couples that I've dealt with, they're all, especially ones that are from Asian cultures, they're really into privacy automatically, and all the blood and guts and juice is not something they even want to see. So what I had put in my current contract is that my intended parent will have a lot of respect for my privacy, including if I deem necessary, like a privacy screen. So what I feel I'm super, super comfortable with is either them being at my head, nowhere near this area. they'll still see the baby when it comes out. And once again, these are my opinions. This is how I feel about my body and what makes me comfortable when you're going through massive amount of pain to, bring a beautiful little baby into this world. So I am totally okay them being at my head, especially if they're men and they can't see my lady parts. Or what they can do is they can be on the other side of a privacy screen, on the other side near the all the delivery area. And then as soon as the baby comes out, they'll have the baby carrier right there where the baby goes, and they can see the baby being wiped off and all the other stuff and cut the umbilical cord. So there's lots of ways to do it to protect the surrogate's privacy. So the moral of this little part is surrogates, yes, just because you're a surrogate and you're getting paid to deliver a baby does not mean that your vagina is their vagina. So if you have any other questions, please ask me. I'll respond to the comments about that. Let's see. So also I've had some people ask me, and this is a good question because I wondered my first time too. So what happens after the baby comes out, and do the parents sleep in your room? No. So your delivery room is your delivery room. As soon as the baby comes out, the baby is now their responsibility. You actually have no rights to it. You don't even get to have any say in its medical care if the parents aren't there. In case you went in super early, you have no say once the baby comes out. So what that also means is your delivery room is your delivery room, so you can rest, you can start healing, you can get some sleep, you can get some food. So if the intended parents, if there's extra rooms at the hospital will often probably bill for it, of course, but allow the intended parents to have a separate room. And this is where they can bond with the baby and they can get their rest too and just be a little bit separate in order to have their space. If there isn't an extra room available, then what happens is the baby can stay in the little nursery and then the intended parents will just be close by. So intended parents, please don't think that it is a surrogate's obligation to allow you to relax and, bond with the baby in your room. I think that it's good for the surrogate anyway to kind of have the baby away right away. That way you can make sure that there's no, sorry if this offends anybody, but any unstable bonds forming. So remember, as a surrogate, this is not your baby, this is their baby. The second that baby comes out, they could take it away and you can never see it again. If you're allowed to hold the baby after, that is very, very joyous and very gracious of the parents to be able to do. And this contract is the first time that I have ever seen in this contract it actually says that the surrogate is allowed to hold the baby and have the baby for an hour with my immediate family at some point after the birth. And I thought that was very, very sweet, very unnecessary because I'm a very realistic surrogate. This is their bun, my oven, their baby. I have no rights to it. So anything extra that I'm ever offered, I am always very, very grateful for because the intended parents don't have to do it. Like I said, they could take the baby and run. So this contract actually says that they have to give me an hour with the baby, which, like I said, I'm very realistic. If they don't want to do that, it's not like I'm going to say, oh, you're in non-compliance with the contract, I'm contacting my lawyer. No, we'll play it by ear, and if they're gracious enough to let me hold the baby and maybe get a picture with it, I'll be very grateful. Like I said in another video, I'm always very, very grateful for the pictures that I do get. I do get pictures and get to see one of my surrogate babies. The other surrogate baby mom cut me off 4 months. So it is a bummer, and like I said in another video, it was a jerk move, but it is what it is, and that's the intended parent's right. That's what they're paying for. I would just love to know, giving birth to that baby, that she's healthy and she's alive and she's happy. But once again, I know that it's not my right. So that is some of the information in this delivery video. I'm just trying to see if I missed anything. Yeah, the only other thing I had was just kind of what to expect after the birth, and I kind of went over that. If they want to let you hold the baby, they do. If not, surrogates, remember, that's your right. Their right to do that. So tell yourself the whole time that they can cut you off at any point and be grateful for what you do get, because they're the one paying a lot of money to try to complete their family. So the ball is in their court when it comes to contact, and that's just the way it is. They can say whatever they want during the process to paint everything as a beautiful picture, but the story might change after. And the more you tell yourself that, and the more you're realistic about it, the more mental health you'll have after knowing that you prepared for that. Alrighty, so once again, this was my what to expect in delivery video for my Sassy Surrogate channel. I have a few other videos that you could watch, including one where I do one of my surrogacy injections, and I'll have many more to come. So please subscribe if you can, and help me go from 4 to 5 followers. I'm happy for the 4 that I have. I think it's really, really sweet, and I really enjoy everybody's comments. So I think that's everything. Please let me know if you have any questions or have any video suggestions, and I will see you later. Bye.